Oh, here we go. Another episode of On the Bench with Beeks. This is number 14. I am your host, Cody Beekman, and with me as always is Keith Zanders.
Hello, everyone.
And Ross Moermeyer.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Today is a very special day because seeing as how Father's Day is right around the corner, we thought we'd bring a couple of dads into the studio. With us today, we've got Giannis Sanders.
Hey, guys.
And Phil Beekman.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We got the daddies in the studio today. Oh, yeah, big clap. There's a little standing ovation going on here.
We got the horn.
Oh, yeah, that's a shot.
Oh, there we go.
Forgot about the horn.
That always seems to be forgotten till the very last second.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing a very special Father's Day episode here on the bench. So we're gonna get into it. I mean, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about. Not so much in the NHL. We got a little bit coming out of there. A couple of prospects, prospect news, and we're gonna talk daddy stuff here on the bench. So, boys, anything interesting happened this week?
Absolutely nothing, man. This is the most interesting part I've had so far.
Oh yeah, seeing the pops in the.
Tell you what, though, what I am stoked about is these sweet microphone stands we got.
Oh yeah, swivel. They're awesome.
Swivel finally.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, just work and that's about it, man. Same old.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot that can happen in a week, I guess.
Right.
Well, without further ado, let's get into it with Hockey Day in History. We're gonna have the dads go first. I'm looking at Giannis right now. Giannis, you wanna start us off there, buddy?
Oh, geez. So, right away you put me on the spotlight. So, let's see what I got here. I'm going to go with Daryl Sittler, the great captain of Toronto Maple Leafs. On June 18th, 1989, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame along with Herbie Lewis and Russian goaltender Vladislav Tretiak.
Tretiak, I think we all know what happened with him in the 80s.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. That's all he's got to say about it. All right, Philly, what you got there, buddy?
Well, buddy, I just happen to have on June 18th, 1993, the new Hockey Hall of Fame had its official grand opening at BCE Place in Toronto. Replacing the old building, Exhibition Place, the Hockey Hall of Fame used half of the building from 1961 to 1992.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, I think we got 2 new podcast stars already here, guys.
No, we're starting. Me and Giannis are starting our own. We're ditching you guys.
Oh,
Yep, we're going to start our own.
Go ahead.
oh yeah, the old boys on the bench.
The old Beeks on the bench.
Yeah. All right, Ross, what do you got, bud?
Well, I've got this day, June 18th, 1975. The Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr won the Norris Trophy for the 8th straight year, extending his NHL record consecutively. So,
Boom. Not a surprise. We all know Bobby Orr. What you got there, Keats?
All right, man. June 19th, 1999. Brett Hall scored the winning goal at 14 minutes, 51 seconds of the third overtime, and Ed Belfour made 53 saves as Dallas won 2-1 at Buffalo in Game 6 of the finals to win the 1999 Stanley Cup Championship.
And that was the famous foot in the crease.
yeah, that's when they had that crazy in the crease rule, and yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, his foot was in the crease. Come get me.
Oh,
Come get me, Dallas Stars fans.
if we had Abel on, he would just go crazy about that. He still, to this day, thinks Hasek deserves the cup instead of the Stars.
I would, honestly, I would have much rather seen Hasek get that cup than Brett Hull.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean Newendijk was deserving of it. Madonna,
Yeah.
he was like America's boy right at that.
Oh,
time,
well,
but-
he's still the America's good old boy when it comes to American hockey. I mean, you can't really forget about Mike Badano.
Oh no, but then you can't forget about Oshie either when he went to Sochi.
Oh my God! All right, I got so tired of hearing that. TJ Sochi. Anyways,
That was annoying.
Anyways,
But it was just amazing what he did, though.
all right. Well, I got one, and it's going to be keeping up with the last one. I believe my last hockey day in history was about Al Arbor taking the position. This one is on June 18th. 1986, Terry Simpson was named new head coach of the New York Islanders, replacing Al Arbor. So, keeping it Arbor.
Yeah, keeping it relative.
Yeah. So, hockey day in history. Well done, gentlemen. Our first little bit, we've got over the hump. So next, here's a little news coming out of Seattle, and I'm pretty sure all you Seattle fans or anybody who's excited about hearing a team name or anything about it, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, due to get this COVID. They're blaming it on the coronavirus, and so they're going to be waiting even longer. We probably won't even get a name till the fall now.
Bummer, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess he also cites a little like, the riots in Seattle too. He's saying that,
Yeah.
and then
Well, it's everywhere at this point.
and then maybe and also something about what do you call it, trademark battles. So apparently they do have a couple names in place, but they don't want to release it now because they're just gonna apparently they're gonna be just like battling for trademarks for all these different.
Wasn't there something about like Hornets or something, like Mad Hornets or something?
Murder Hornets.
Or more?
Yeah, I think that was a joke.
Yeah.
That would be good though.
That'd be interesting.
The Wuhan bats.
That Murderers would be a great jersey, like a great sweater, man.
Oh, seriously,
Yeah.
you got some pissed off looking hornet on
They
there.
got a hornet on there with a knife or shank or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Bandana on.
Oh, for real. A bandana.
If you were to guess, though, what do you think?
That's
do you
actually-
think they're leaning.
That's what actually leads that was exactly what I was going to ask you guys. Like in all seriousness, what would you guys like to see?
Well, I don't know. You know how like Colorado, we have like the famous flag that everyone has. What is it, like the light blue, navy blue, whatever you want to call it? Colors does Seattle have
Yeah.
color? Because I honestly I don't even know.
They don't even have a color scheme up yet, but it's a lot of speculations.
Seattle
like,
Mermaids, man.
mermaids.
There you go, the Seattle Mermaids. I like that.
Well, let me break it out for you. I mean, a lot of the popular ideas have been the totems, the metropolitans. The totems,
the totem poles.
the
from
metropolitans. Another big one's been Kraken.
And I've been on board with that one since before when they actually were like, "Oh, we're gonna have a team." I'm like, dude, they should do the Kraken.
And then,
And they've already done the Puget Sound, all the popular stuff that's out in Seattle. I mean, the Metropolitans make sense because you had
they
that whole
had the
franchise.
Metropolitans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's up for sale right now. Well, how about the Seattle Starbucks?
Oh right, yeah, that's where it came from, right?
Might as well just named them the Kenny G's then.
That's what I said, the Mermaids.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I'm leaning something to do with water.
Yeah, I would agree.
It would make sense, right?
I could go as far as thinking that Sockeye would be a pretty like a front runner.
The sockeye salmons.
Well,
Phil's cracking up.
he's just, yeah. They're just laughing at absolutely
These
everything
names are
we're saying.
all terrible.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting when they finally
Hey, but
do.
you imagine, when they actually make the league, and they play against the Canucks. What about that hockey minute,
Oh yeah.
Well, that, and I have a bunch of family up in the Washington State area. They're huge Canucks fans, so we'll see how that kind of like divides them and everything. So
I agree. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, they already have like a pretty gnarly rivalry going. Ever since Seattle was confirmed for an expansion, the Vancouver Canucks, Twitter has just been chirping them like crazy.
Oh, they haven't started burning the town down again?
Oh well, I mean, probably when they lose their first game to Seattle, I'm sure there's a riot.
Yeah, plus the day ain't over yet.
Oh right, that is so true.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings, right, Phil?
Yeah.
And on that note, so what do you got, Keith? What are
No,
you?
I was gonna say we're gonna spend another hour.
Yeah,
talking
for
about
sure.
this shit. Let's
So,
move on.
so in other news, a couple Avalanche prospects have actually been named to the International Showcase. The International Showcase is basically just like, junior international players playing for their countries. Drew Hellison has been named to Team USA, and Alex Newhook, our up-and-comer, that's going to be looking pretty sweet, was named to Canada. So that's a whole that's promising, and they're going to be playing hockey this summer, so that's good.
Oh yeah, no, that'll be really exciting because you'll actually get to see him play, and that depends on how the NHL season goes. So,
Well, I think about how long they've been off. I mean, I think their season got canceled. I know the NCAA canceled the rest of their hockey real quick.
oh yeah,
So it's going to be sweet to see Alex Newhook playing more, and I mean Drew Hellison's going to be a up and comer too. So they're going to be playing hockey. That's a good thing for the Avs, and I'm sure we're going to see more names come out for other teams. I'm really hoping that Justus Annunen, our Finnish goaltender that has just been ripping the Finnish league up this year, gets to play more too. I would love to see him playing because while he was in the Finnish league, he was just, like I said, tearing shit up.
it was like an acrobatic kind of like feat. That guy was just all over all over the crease, and he was just doing amazing things for him. So
Set the Finnish league record for minutes shut out, so that's huge.
oh yeah,
Finns have always had good goalies.
Yeah, I think Giannis, I think you got a little bit of an opinion on that one there.
Well, I always thought, like I'm European, coming from Latvia, growing up watching European hockey, and if you're not Canadian, I'll always go with like Finnish goalie, from Finland. Look at the Pekkarinen, Kiprasov, those guys, they never
Tukarask.
fail. Tukarask, yes. So, in my opinion, if you're coming from Finland, you basically have a safe bet. It's going to be a good goalie.
Yeah. What about you, Dad? What do you think?
No, I agree 100% with Giannis said.
It's a tried and true fact. Finns are great goaltenders. So yeah, that's about all the news that we got for today. Let's get into these dads.
Let's start interviewing.
Yeah, let's grill these guys.
Father's Day edition.
Young guns versus the old guys. Let's go.
Let's do this. Well,
I mean, maybe water guns. I don't know.
Phil, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I knew it when I walked up the driveway, and hey, Cody says, "Hey, Dad, guess what? What? You're going to be on the iPod, iCast, podcast, whatever this thing is."
On the iPad.
And I said, "Oh, okay." I quit.
It's like the you cast, me cast, anybody cast. It's all right.
We all cast together.
It's all about the we cast. So, I mean, obviously, If you're still with us, thank you. All right, so let's get into it. We're talking hockey backgrounds. Giannis, we're going to go with you first. So growing up in, Eastern Europe, Latvia, of course, as we've all heard before. I mean, what got you into hockey? And just tell us a little about a bit about your hockey background and kind of like what really influenced you with hockey.
Alrighty, so I'm kind of an older guy now, I would say. But anyway, first of all, I want to say thank you, for inviting me to this podcast. I'm a great fan, big fan of you guys. I think what you guys do is awesome. I'm eager to wait for any other new episode coming up. So it's a great thing, and it's an honor to be here.
Oh, well,
looking forward to the great podcast.
Well, we're stoked to have you guys on, man.
So to answer the question, what got me into hockey, as far as I can remember myself, at the time, when I was about like 4 years old or whatever, my family didn't have a TV to begin with. And so I used to run over to my neighbor's house. They were relatives of my dad and stuff like that, so basically my family, and they had a TV, and so I always ran over to watch cartoons, and once in a while, like once a week, basically, there was a hockey game on, and that was, you were talking about 1975-ish, 6-ish, and at that time, we had a team in Latvia, Dynamo Riga, call it however you want. But so the two old ladies, they always watched the games, and so there was like from 6 o'clock till 6:30 at night, there were cartoons. After that, there was a hockey game on. And so I kind of like started watching with them, it kind of grew on me, and that's basically, how it all started. And after a while, I already figured it out, how to look up the schedules, on TV, when they're going to play or not. And so I would show up, and I would even skip the cartoons and just go straight and watch the hockey games. That's how it all started, and then later on, when my older sister started dating her future husband, and he was a great hockey fan. He actually played in Latvia's Bears. There was like a minor league hockey team, but he played just for a couple of years or so, and he got out of it. And so anyways, he started dating my sister. And he had probably the greatest impact on me, as far as the hockey goes. And that's how it all started.
Sweet. What? And let's switch it over to Phil. How'd you get started?
Well, kid growing up in Ohio, and we were around a lot of hockey. Didn't have a lot of places as a kid to play hockey, but we had the Red Wings. I had to. I hate admitting that. But
Now, yeah.
I think I just bit my tongue when I said that. But
might have just threw up a little bit. In
yeah,
my mouth.
I had a funny taste in my mouth right now. But we had Chicago was in the area, and we just basically just kind of watching. Actually, my team was the Dayton Gems.
That's
which,
what I was going to ask.
Yeah, which was the IHL team. Yeah. And we got them pretty regular on TV. I mean, they played basically they showed all the home games, and that was the thing, man. I was sitting around watching, Dayton Gems, and we would, Christmas time seemed like, I grew up with 9 brothers and sisters, so, they were looking for really cheap Christmas presents.
Of course.
And believe me, back in the day, a hockey stick was really cheap.
Yeah.
My mom would be walking through. She'd be walking through the store. Hey, what are we gonna get Phil? Well, let's get him that piece of wood over there. It's the cheapest thing they could get, But I loved it, man. Got me a hockey stick every Christmas, and I find something as a puck. Cause they never did really realize that there was another part of it that went with it.
Yeah.
So didn't get too many pucks, but we figured it out.
Oh man, anything that's like.
Pine cone. Break off a piece of ice, use that, whatever.
There you go. Slap it around.
But no, just the local ponds, and heck, man, I used to skate in my backyard. I grew up in Ohio where it rains all the time, and during the winter, you get these good rains, and they'll come along and freeze the next day, and got your rink right there in your backyard, man. You know, and I've skated in my backyard many a time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's one thing.
I think
that would be so cool, you know.
I think we
Or
all
having
have
that's one thing that around here growing up where we grew up, Cody and Ross, we don't really have ponds or places where we can go and you know kind of enjoy it during the winter season. That's definitely something I miss. I do remember having that in Latvia for a very short period of time, but here, you know, for us, we got to drive like hours out if we want anything like that.
Oh yeah.
And not only that, you know, chip in a little bit, you know, like when we moved to the United States, you know, for me it was kind of odd, you know, like when Keats was growing up and his brother Michael, and we had the next door neighbors, you know, they had like a trampoline or something like that. They want to go and jump and this and that. And so my wife says, like, he can't go there. You know, what if he fall, you know, or break his leg or whatever, you know? All those concerns about, you know, how to, like they going to sue us or some shit like that, you know? Like in Latvia growing up, you know, we had the ponds, you know, like Phil said, you know, the hell freezes over, you know, when you go and skate and play, and nobody ever, you know, even thought about it, you know, like if somebody gets injured or whatever, you know, it's a normal thing, you know. So this is more about the safety here. Over there, people just, you know, just gear up to go and play, you know, without any worry that something's going to happen, you know. So it's kind of like sterile here, you know.
Yeah. Kind of like a culture shock thing. Probably.
It is, absolutely.
See, I know I could probably speak for the boys so that like I've probably asked you, Dad, like a million times, can we have a rink in the backyard? And every single time he'd look at me like, Cody, you realize it will never get cold enough, and plus our backyard's a hill, so we could just dig it out. It's like, where is your mind, kid?
You'd be over in the corner on the boards about, you know, 9 out of 10 times if you're lucky.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if we dig it out, there's like probably be at least 10 feet up to the actual fence and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I remember you telling me about how you just could basically just freeze out your backyard, and I always thought that was like the coolest thing, just to be able to just wake up and go skate out in the backyard.
Yeah, no, like dream come true, and like we're not even old, but like the younger generation, you know, the younger kids now, like they have now like these artificial ice rinks you can literally buy. I mean, they're expensive, like a decent one. You'll spend a few $1,000s, but man, you can put those things back together like Legos, man.
Seriously.
And skate during summertime.
See, we our generation
You
missed the bucket
Yeah.
in both ways, man.
Yeah. You kids will never understand.
Well, it's almost like a good like mix of like the ice with those like because I mainly played roller and stuff like that, so those like the piece by piece boards that you would kind of fit together.
Well, that stuff
Yeah.
that you got at like Bladium and stuff.
Yeah. Oh
but,
yeah.
but then you got that fake ice, which is
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
don't like I kind of wanted to like skate on it
Dude,
to like to see and believe it.
You know how pissed my mom would get if I did that to the basement?
Oh, we're not talking about moms today. We're on the dads.
But that's fine. My dad wouldn't care. He'd be fine with it. He'd be like, "Oh, it's all right."
Let the
spend his
kid
own
go.
money.
Let the kid go.
But no, I think that kind of is what led to that, with how smooth you could glide on the actual like
Yeah.
those. What is it? I guess it was like polymer rinks or whatever they were made out.
Gee, I don't even know.
Yeah, but they would just snap together, and you could have like an ice rink and an actual roller hockey rink like within the same building and stuff.
What a future. What a
Right.
future. And everybody's worried about coughing on each other. We should just be skating on fake ice.
Right?
Well, I tell you, you know, even like back in the day, they used to do these little. They used to sell these little rinks. You know, they're like the little swimming pools.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, except they were like, you know, like maybe 8 inches, and they were all round. They didn't, you know, but you could put them up in your backyard and fill them up with water, and boom, you got, you know, And it's a little tough because it's a lot of them were maybe like 10-foot circles in diameter, you know. It got a little crowded on the ice.
Oh,
but,
a
you
little
know.
bit, yeah. Like more than 3 people,
Yeah.
you might want to keep your head up, huh?
Yeah, and plus, they didn't last through the summer anyway because we doubled them up as like wading pools, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, riding your bikes in them and jumping in them and stuff. So they don't last long.
Hey,
Yeah, but you know, they worked well for the you know, for the one winter anyway.
as long as they're getting use, especially
Yeah.
keeping that ice in, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Dad. So what was speaking of that? What was your experience growing up, being a younger kid and living in Latvia and during winter seasons and stuff? I know you're telling me stories how you and your friends used to play outside, but it was obviously a little different than Phil's story as the equipment and all that type of stuff came. What how did you guys get by and play the sport?
Oh, well, like you said, you know, at that time in Latvia, we were under the Soviets, you know, and there were no, like such a thing, you know. You could go to the local sports store, you know, you can buy like one of those wooden sticks. But that was about it, you know. There were no helmets, no nothing, you know. And so people started to be creative, you know. So I got into, like, since I was the youngest kid on the block, you know, I had all my friends which were like 3-4 years older than me, and of course they wanted to score the goals and stuff like that, so they put me in the net, you know? and so I didn't have any protection whatsoever. And the only thing was, I remember one of my friends, Igor's, you know, he had these, in Russian, it's called valinki, and it's like a wool boot, you know, you wear, you know, and that would protect you from the puck, you know. So since I was little at that time, you know, I wore those boots, and they were up almost to my, you know, past my knees, you know. So that's how it was, and then people started to get creative. You don't have a blocker, you know, like what to do with the blocker, yeah. And some guy came up, oh, I got like this little sheet of plywood, you know, so they would cut it out, you know, tape it, basically duct tape to my arm, you know, my hand. And so that's my blocker, you know. As far as the catcher goes, you know, the thickest wool, like, gloves you can wear, you know, that was your catcher, you know. And that's it, pretty much it, you know. So sometimes it was very painful after those games, you know, because you were bruised and stuff like that, so. Yeah, so in Europe, you know, back in the day, I mean, now it's gotten better, but back then people just basically had skates. I actually didn't have any skates. I don't even know how to skate real good to begin with, because like we grew up like in the city in Ventspils, so like we were on the west coast by the Baltic Sea, and so the winters were not harsh, and so we got lucky, you know, we got the ice during the winter. So I never even learned how to skate. I learned how to skate later in the day, you know, so, but I'm not good at it. So all the kids, you know, they were on skates and stuff, but as a goalie, I never wore the skates, just my boots, and that's it.
So basically, you guys were just improvising on, like, everything that you could, like, just making the best of, like, what it was just for what you had.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then later, I would say I was already like in the middle school, and they came out. You could buy at the sports shop this goalie mask, and it was almost like that Jacques Plante, you know, and Ken Dryden and stuff like that. You know, like I think there was actually a movie out, like a scary movie or some shit, you know, where you wear this.
Friday the 13th.
Yes,
yeah, one of
so
those.
those kind of masks, and there was no padding on it on the inside. So we would like have like foam or whatever, we would glue it in. So now it brings it farther away from your face, right? And so which kind of obstructs your view, you know, you can't see where the puck is at.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool, you know, to see that, you know. Like when you watch the World Cup, you know, or World Championships, not the World Cup. And you'll see sometimes, a lot of times the Swedish goalies wore those masks, you know. It was just so cool, you know, so I got something like that, so I was really proud of it, you know. And
Nice.
and yep, and then my brother-in-law's brother, one time I remember they made a rink behind their apartment building, and he took a slap shot, you know, from about, like, I would say like 20 yards away, and pretty hard one, and I wore that mask, and he just caught me right in, like, about like where the eyebrow is. and it knocked me on my butt, but so I shook up, it took me about a minute, like what the heck just happened, but it saved basically my face,
Oh yeah.
So, and yeah.
What about you, Dad? How'd you come by like equipment and stuff like that?
Well, I told you, like, your grandma would go buy the cheapest thing for me she could find.
Well, yeah,
And a hockey stick.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, like when we were like, well, like I say, we always paid on ponds, and we didn't really have equipment. Some kids had skates, some didn't. I remember one year, your grandma bought me figure skates.
Oh, those beauties, yes.
Oh,
Did they have
yes.
the pom-poms on them? And
No.
I hope that they were pink because you couldn't tell the difference.
Hey,
could you,
Ross,
Phil?
you're sitting a little too close to me to be saying that. Just remember the haircut, buddy.
Oh, I do. I do.
And the listeners are privy to those.
Yes,
haircuts,
I'm
by the
sure
way.
they've
They
heard
are.
that before. But no, and the first thing I did was, went out there and, those little teeth on the front of them figure skates?
Oh yes.
Those things can kill you. Remember when I told you about how to fall, cover your head?
Oh yeah.
That's how I learned that little trick.
Oh.
I'm telling you, man, those teeth would kill you. So I got smart enough and I grinded them off.
Oh yeah.
But they were good for a year, They didn't last. But next year I told, hey, Mom, there's this thing called hockey skates.
Let's get
you
some of
know.
those instead.
Yeah, let's get it's it's a little easier on the face,
Oh yeah.
But hey, we like I say, we really didn't have equipment. We didn't, we had our mittens. We used as gloves, we just we had blue jeans on or whatever we were wearing. We didn't really have equipment,
Didn't even really
just
think
just
about
stick and skates and something to hit around, little chunk of wood, you get the right branch off a tree and cut it up. You can use that for a while until it splits open. And no, and plus, we didn't really have money to do that anyway. And you guys are so lucky growing up. To be honest, I'll tell you, man. I mean,
hell yeah.
yeah, we just had to make do. We didn't have like stores to go to where you could buy,
Yeah.
even used equipment,
Right.
and we just kind of used what we had and, made the best. I had fun. We had a lot of fun, man. I never skated on the inside rink until I was 19 years old. That was the first time I ever skated in an inside rink. We didn't have ice rinks like you guys had. One place over in Dayton that we used to go to, it was an abandoned dairy. And, Progress has just kind of grown around it, and the dairy shut down. But every year they'd fill it with water. You remember up in Essence Park, that little parking garage we skated in?
Oh yeah, there was this in
I
like
know.
No, not
Fraser.
Winter, not Essence Park.
In Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fraser, right outside of Winter Park.
It was- yeah,
this
Winter
is what
Park
you're
was- yeah.
talking about.
It was
yeah.
literally
Yeah.
a parking
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
that
it's a
they
parking
just
lot.
froze over for
Right.
like the winter and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
'Cause
They did this cow stall like that. I mean, it was basically a barn, open air barn, had a roof over it, but it was all open air. And every year they would fill it up with water and let it freeze, and we'd skate there.
The most indoor skating rink.
First time I ever had a roof over my head when I skated.
Wow.
So, but no, you guys were very fortunate in the era that you were brought up in.
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
And speaking of, Phil, you were mentioning, that you got the figure skates, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We had a guy who actually played hockey with the speed skates.
Did he really? Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and
I remember.
those blades, they're
The big
they're
long
so
blades?
much longer.
Yeah.
And so another dude, they were playing hockey, he tripped and he actually ended up with his forehead on the tip of the skate, and made a little puncture. I remember the blood was gushing out about like a couple feet away from him, like, it was crazy, blood all over the place.
Boy, I'd hate to fall the other way.
Right.
I'd rather take it in the forehead.
Oh gosh.
God dang it, Phil.
So, Dad, one question I was going to ask you was, Phil mentioned that the very first time he had the chance to play in an indoor rink was when he was about 19 years old. Was your first time when Ventspils opened their ice rink, or were you able to play somewhere else before?
No,
Or
it
skate,
was
I should say.
no. It was always outdoors, you know. And well, we didn't have a rink in the city when you were a kid. When you started to play hockey, that's when the first time I actually went on an indoor ice, you know, to like just to skate around and stuff like that. So we didn't have that luxury. I can't remember what year it was. Was it around like 2002?
2000, no, 2000 is when the rink opened.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and then we got the team 2002.
No, the team
'Cause
was the team was before. We were already practicing
Okay, okay, that's
before
right.
while
that's
they
right.
were still constructing the rink.
All right, that's right.
Well, and also, Giannis, I want to just reach out. And how, like, did you get your fix with hockey, with being in Soviet, Russia kind of area, and, like, being able to watch them on the TV and all of that stuff?
Well, that's an interesting question. Of course, we could watch like the local league play, you know, the games during the season. They broadcasted every Dynamo Riga game from the start to the beginning. At that time, they didn't have a playoffs or nothing like that. And so, yeah, that was widely available. And then on some of the Russian channels, you could watch all the other games. So at that time, I didn't understand Russian or know nothing, you know, so I didn't know what the broadcasters were saying or nothing like that. So you just watch the games. But for whatever reason, you know, once in a while, you would hear something about NHL, you know, and stuff. And we knew at that even at that age, young age, you know, I knew that hockey supposedly is so much better. And so you start, you know, once you have an interest for something, you start to like, you know, look out, you know, what's what. And as we grew, here's a great story about it, how we watched a couple NHL games once in a blue moon. So I had a friend, he lived like a couple blocks away from me, and his mom worked at the pharmacy. And so that's where people got real creative. You may ask, like, what's to do with the pharmacy? So if you people know, what is that, mercury or
Yes,
whatever?
that's
what's
in the thermometers.
thermometer?
Yes.
It's a great thing, you know,
It's
like
a great
Conductor?
conductor, basically.
Yes, yes. So what we did, my friend's dad, he was real creative. You know, we got this plastic tube, and somehow he rigged it. I don't know what happened, how they did it, but we filled this tube. The tube was about, I would say, 2 to 3 feet long. You know, and then there were wires going up to their second story level. You know, in the house. And so basically what we did, they had a big, like a cotton tree in the backyard. And so at that time, in the Soviet times, you were not allowed to watch like any kind of television from abroad or no nothing, right. You know. Since the Sweden is so close, you know, his dad figured it out. If we fill this tube and we run it up, you know, kind of wind it up on a tree, and it was sticking up at the treetop, you know, about a foot out. And so nobody can see it. It was the foliage covering everything. And so actually we were able to pick up the Swedish TV channels. And so since we didn't know any kind of broadcast or whatever, you know, when the game's going to be broadcast, we just stumbled on it, you know. And usually they showed the games for whatever reason, like if I can remember correctly, like Saturday nights or Friday nights, I can't remember. But that's how we first watched NHL games. And so from that point on, you know, that the game was on. You know, and so we would always try to, you know, catch the game and stuff.
Yeah, you were on the hunt from
absolutely,
that point on.
Absolutely, you know, and that's how you know, we watched the games, you know. And the first game, if I remember correctly, it was Los Angeles Kings played somebody, and for whatever reason, I remember that Marcel Dion scored like a hat trick or something like that. You know, so
that's a whale of a first game to see. Like
yeah,
a hat trick.
Yeah, and after some time, you know, they did broadcast around Christmas time. It was like the Soviet teams, usually the first two teams in the championship at that point, they would come over here and play NHL teams. they would broadcast all of those games. So it was basically like a series of 6 or something like that.
Well, yeah, because they, I mean, the Soviets would always come over and play like a bunch of teams, or like the All-Star teams and Team Canada and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they did not play Team Canada. I mean, I'm talking about the club teams.
Oh,
They did
like
do those, whatever it was called, like the series, where the
well, yeah, closer to like 1980s, they would go and do that when they.
the club teams came around 84-ish, and
okay.
up. But they did have those series, when all the USSR team would come and play Team Canada.
Yeah,
It
and
was like in 1976. I was too young. I don't remember none of it.
yeah, and I remember they like played the League All Stars and they
Yes.
just blew them away.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then, actually, if I remember correctly, 1989, Dinamo Riga, actually, that one when Arturs Irbe played, when he was just rising up, he actually played for USSR, for like a season or so, for the World Cup and stuff. But actually, the Latvian team, which were mainly the players were Latvians, and we did so great that we ended up in the second place. So we had a chance to come over and play NHL teams, and that was such a huge deal here.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's how it got so popular, in Latvia. Hockey was always popular, but that just brought it to a next level. And then, fortunately, the Soviet Union breakup happened, and that's how Archie came and played for San Jose Sharks. And not soon after, Sanders joined too. So, and then it just took off, And after that, it's all the history.
So, Dad, I'm looking at stats here. So, Irbe played in Dinamo Riga from 86 all the way up to 91. And that's when he actually got with the Sharks from 91, 92.
Yep. But I can't remember. For whatever reason, I think it was 89 when they were in the second place. But anyways, regardless. And the thing was, like, the Soviets, when they would send a team over, they actually, their best team was, what is that called? ACSK, what is that time? I don't even know in English what it would be. But that was their main team, which was actually Team USSR, So they claimed that it was amateur team, which is complete BS.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They played, they got paid, and all that. That's why they were so unbeatable. And even then they were scared, They usually got a couple other players from the other teams, the top-level teams, So they were just so afraid to lose, And to me, it was like, it's a BS,
Yeah.
And I actually, kudos to NHL teams, because it was pretty evenly played games, except the one blowout I remember where I think they played Montreal Canadiens and they were blown out 6-0. Trechak at that time, I watched that game. It was just unbeatable.
Yeah.
The saves he made, I never liked the guy, but the saves he made, it was just amazing.
Nice. So, Dad, I'd like to ask you, kind of like Giannis. What was your real break into professional hockey? Just kind of like Giannis.
Well, to be honest with you, back in the day, I don't know if you guys probably won't believe this, but TV had maybe if you got 4 channels, you were lucky, and on a windy day you might get 5.
That's
on
what my
a
dad
windy
always
day.
said.
No, I'm serious.
Blowing
man.
in from Chicago way.
Yeah, if it's blowing from Detroit, coming down from the lakes, or it all depends.
Yeah.
But no, it was it was so different back then. Communications and TV was just so different. Like Giannis, they used mercury. We used grandma.
Jesus.
We would stick
Mamaw just sit in the corner and just
we would stick grandma on the roof with the antennas. Yell out, "Hey, Grandma, a little to the right."
Yes.
Hopefully you didn't stick her in the rocking chair up there. Or
Well,
something,
we thought it was too much trouble to carry one up there.
She might fall asleep.
She was pretty spry for her age, to be honest with you.
Hey, thank you, Mama Beekman. Or I should say Burke.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so yeah, like.
But no, it was, to be honest with you, the Dayton Gems was a team, and they always played on a certain channel, and that was one of the channels that we could get. It was the Dayton channel. I grew up in a little town, just a little east of Dayton, so we got all the Dayton stuff, and we got a little bit of, like I say, when the wind blowed, we got a little bit of Cincinnati, telecast and stuff. But no, it was. You would catch, we probably got more of the Olympic hockey than we did, just NHL hockey.
Because sorry, Cody.
Oh, no, just because nationally broadcast.
Oh,
But the thing about it was, hockey was like, the ugly
Redheaded
sister of the
stepchild,
family.
Yeah.
You got football, you got baseball, you got basketball, and you got golf. And hockey was just like because of, when it was played, that was the only thing that really helped hockey because nothing else was really going on besides maybe basketball,
Right.
But you really didn't get that much, And when you did, you appreciated it,
When did you finally really kind of start thinking like NHL? This is the thing. I'm kind of liking this.
Well, first time I ever saw it, But like I say, you weren't you just couldn't go to another channel and pick up a game.
Right.
You just had to catch, and we had a TV guide. Giannis didn't have the TV guide.
Just
Whatever
like
was on was on.
Yeah,
just a little leaflet that
Exactly.
came by.
yeah.
Here's channel 1, 2, and 3 for the next week.
Pretty
Right.
much.
Or my dad would say that they would tune in on the radio and stuff like that. That's
No,
how they
yeah,
thought
the
that-
radio would be the best route.
And he would always say he loved the announcers back in the day. They would just get so lively and animated. He said that was almost damn near better than watching it on the actual TV if you got the
Yeah, I
actual.
kind of disagree with you.
Well,
I mean, just for the
yeah.
point of the way hockey was played back then.
oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it was freaking brutal, man. I mean, it was just pure brutal.
Oh yeah.
And,
great.
and if you couldn't visually see that, the greatest announcer on the radio can describe it, but until you see it on that tube and you see how those guys used to play, it was. And I think that was a lot of the reason why they really didn't show it that much, to be honest with you,
I mean
because
I
of the
don't blame-
brutality.
Yeah.
It's just. But it was once it got in your blood, it just.
Well, I mean, for
It
God's
sticks.
sakes, back then you couldn't even show a toilet bowl on TV.
Well, no, I mean, like even the comedies and stuff. If they showed a husband and a wife in a bedroom scene, they made the guy put one foot on one leg on the floor because that's just the way it was. It was that kind of like Puritan kind of thing.
Yeah, puritanical. Like,
yeah. They had the actor had to put
they're
when they were
not
in a
doing.
bed scene. He had to have one foot on the floor.
No, trust me, they're not doing anything risque. No, sir.
Well, hey, since we're kind of on this topic, Phil, you mentioned just a little bit ago saying that hockey back then was just absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Going into that, what do you think about the hockey that you grew up watching?
Mhm.
And this goes for the both of you. The hockey that you guys grew up watching to like the hockey
Now,
exactly that we're used to, like for like myself, Cody, Ross.
What's the difference?
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
It's just, man, the skating. The skating is so superior. What these guys do now on skates is just phenomenal. And the way they pass, the speed of the game, and I can understand getting away from the goonery in a way. In a sense, I am not against fighting in hockey. I think it's a very needed art.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
time and a
Of the game.
place, basically.
Well,
is
sure,
what
but
you're
yeah, but
saying.
it's a message sent.
Yes, as
You
we
know.
have always talked about, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean-
always you're standing up for your guy. You don't mess with my guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would just say just the speed and the way these guys skate. It's just phenomenal.
Well,
some of these guys skate like they were like born with skates instead of feet.
oh yeah, well
You
then
know?
you got our boy Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah,
He can just go
that's a
full
good example
speed
right
and
there.
just like shoot the puck top shelf and just make it every single time where mom keeps the peanut butter. You know.
Well, yeah, and the thing about him was when he first got here, and his mind couldn't keep up with his skates.
No.
He just couldn't. They couldn't. His mind had to catch up with his skates, which has happened in the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, and that was like Matty Duchesne when we got him first off.
Yeah.
Like same thing, but
But I think with McKinnon, it was even more obvious. Me and Cody talked about this a lot. He says whenever his mind catches up with his skates, he's going to be awesome.
oh yeah, he was like a newborn baby giraffe basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
So, Dad, what's your opinion on this?
Well, me and Phil, we were pretty much the same age, we're a couple of years apart or so.
I don't know, Giannis.
Well,
Look at that gray. Look at that gray.
well, I look better though.
Yeah, you look much better. You wear it.
Oh my gosh.
Where's that buzzer?
You wear it. You.
Are we gonna play who?
Oh, what a shot, boys!
Yep, 1-0 Europe. So,
Hey, we're used to that over here.
So you're saying you aged like a fine wine. compared to Phil.
Absolutely. So, anyways, to answer this question is like this. Like I said, I grew up watching whatever game was available. I'm just gonna talk about NHL because that's where my passion is, for the most part. And so I grew up as an NHL fan, not a single team fan.
Yeah.
Only later on, so for the Latvians is like, and I think it was discussed before, like with Keats, he says like Latvians do not have that attachment to a single team. Wherever the Latvians play, that's what we root for.
Correct.
And somehow, and again, that was we guys talked about it in the previous podcast. How we ended up in Denver. And we were Avs fans, back in 1995, 6 when Sanders moved here and won the Stanley Cup. So apart from that, looking back the way when I grew up, and watched the hockey games, I like that style of the game better than it's nowadays. For what reason? First of all, like I do like the enforcers. I do like the tough guys. Look at the Bobby Clark, and he's pretty small. Who can match it? Cody McLeod.
Well, let's talk about the Broad Street
and,
Bullies. They basically beat the shit out of their opponents.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yes,
won a Stanley Cup that
you'll
way.
look at those guys, and then to me it was fascinating, And now, and I'll talk like for myself, it's like 2 eras, Up to the day when we had that full year lockout was at 2004, 2005.
Yeah, it really.
Skipped.
Yeah, I agree. It really
And-
did just kind of like break
Yes,
the.
and when the game came back, it was never the same. Yes, the speed is awesome. You can't match it. I think that nowadays the NHL players are more skilled, but at times I think they don't have that kind of passion. With the guys like Larry Robinson, Bobby Orr, Bobby Clark, Guy Lafleur, those guys. I mean that's gone, in my opinion. Look at the old goalies, Ron Hextall, and Cujo and all those guys. I mean, that era is gone to me. So, while I still love hockey, I prefer, like before that lockout, when we lost the whole season.
Yeah.
That era before, I like that time better than what it's nowadays. But like you guys mentioned about Nathan McKinnon, that is my number one guy, hands down. That guy has a great future. I do believe he will win the Stanley Cup, if not this year, then years to come. They got like Avs got about 3 years, that they will win the cup, 100%.
So I got a question. Seeing as how we're talking about then and now, who do you guys think? Which player from back then do you think would still survive in the league today?
Yager.
He's still playing. He's fucking exists.
Come on, Keith. You
He's
ain't getting by with
exempt.
Yager. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's still playing, dude.
You're not getting no. You,
He's like
That's
a million years old.
No, you're not getting by with
I am
Yager.
the
man.
Terminator. Just get to the chopper now.
So who do you guys think that? I mean, playing back then. I mean, let's cut it off about like late '80s.
And are we gonna do with or without injuries?
No, just let's not split hairs here. I mean, just as a player,
Any position?
yeah.
Well, all of them.
I don't know about that.
I disagree.
Let me think. Does Mario Lemieux qualify for it? Or is it too new?
Mario actually even played into the aughts, so I think he's
Well,
kind of
he did.
exempt. Like I
Alright.
think
Mario's gained a few pounds too. I don't know if he can.
What was the cutoff? You said.
I'd say like I'd say like well done before at least the late '80s.
Okay, Wayne Gretzky, hands down.
You think Gretz could still survive?
Gretzky, Yari
Probably.
Corey,
Yari
Mark
Curry?
Messier.
What do you think, Dad?
You want to go back. I mean, Gretzky's still kind of like modern, modern era.
In a sense,
I'd say
yeah.
the Rocket. I think the Rocket could play.
That's actually exactly who I was gonna say.
Well, you're my son. What
Well,
else you gonna
chip
say?
off the
Come
old
on,
fucking
please,
block
please,
right there,
please.
bud.
No. I mean, seriously. I mean, I think him. I thought for sure the Rocket could play in this era.
Incredible speed and grace.
Oh yeah.
Insane shot.
Yep.
Well, and he had that tenacity and grit too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had enough to. Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point in the league, where that kind of falls a little bit more by the wayside, I think you wouldn't have to worry about that so much.
Well,
But you-
Bobby Orr.
yeah.
Bobby Orr. It would be interesting to see how he would line up.
Which
you know,
actually
but
we
I
were
think he could do it too.
Which actually we were talking about that how just like when we were talking about defensemen and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah, no, we definitely talked
How
about
he
that.
revolutionized the
position of like
defensive position.
the offensive
But
defenseman.
you know what? It's kind of unfair though to try to place those guys in a different era. I mean, come on. In the era they played, they were just awesome, and everybody
Yeah.
that stepped foot on that
Look at
ice
it-
at that time,
Yeah.
they deserve to be there. But like you say, it's like it's fun to ask that question
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
pick
all
somebody
it
out
is.
to do that. I just feel the Rocket can play. He could play in any era.
I agree. What do you think, Kate?
I don't know, man. You already bashed me.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, like the dude's still playing. You got
Oh,
like,
nah,
Keats,
but he
Keats,
doesn't
come on.
play. I mean, another one I was thinking was Gretzky. Even though
I
you guys
mean-
say he's still kind of new.
Well, sure he
era,
could.
But,
I think he could play in that era.
I don't know, man.
I don't think he would be.
Uh,
I don't think he would have broke the records that he broke. Or
Oh,
had.
probably not.
Not.
no.
And if he came out of juniors right now, and he made he was made the NHL on a team,
Right.
he would obviously never break the records that he has.
He wouldn't, and if we talk about it, I think the Mario would be better fit.
I think he would because he was
Yeah.
a bigger dude.
Oh yeah,
Bigger dude. He had that power thing going on.
and goalies wouldn't have any chance.
No.
Terry Savchuk, sorry,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be.
And also, it proved me wrong or correct if Mario wasn't going through his like all of like the health problems and everything. He would have beaten out Gretzky's scoring record and all of that. I guarantee you.
Probably.
Like, he was.
I
just
mean, he was an amazing player.
He was probably the best thing to happen to the Pens. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Have you
and then
seen
you got Yager.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
that
bud.
team? Was, yep. Ron Francis, when they joined, when they all came together, man, that team was unbeatable.
Speaking of goalies, though, I think Hasek could still flop around.
I
What do you guys think?
No, I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think you could. Yeah.
I think
But that when you start putting goalies up against forwards and defensive guys, blue liners, it's like it's kind of hard to say. Okay, well, a goalie, I think, I don't know. Maybe Salchuk could play in this era. I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, goalies are kind of like a whole different animal.
yeah,
anyways.
that's a big.
as far as playing goes.
What are you trying to say, Phil?
No, Keith.
I think you know exactly what he's trying to say, you weird motherfucker.
Yeah, Keith, you could still play in this era. I know you
Hey,
could.
well,
No.
My dad was playing with mercury when he was young.
Oh,
so
I know.
that
So
explains
that kind of shows in the.
Hey, who knows? That
no
might be
wonder
the.
why
Yeah.
the goalie.
That
Yeah,
might be the,
now we know. Now that explains everything.
Who knows? That might be the hidden the hidden gem. You know, like the.
Yeah. Hey, that
the
might be what
golden-
straightened you out, man.
Oh, right.
That was the diamond in the rough. Oh yes.
No, I really like those answers. I mean, obviously you can't get too crazy about it. Obviously, it'll never happen. It's just kind of
So
fun
let
to talk
me
about.
let me ask you this, Cody. Like we kind of skipped that trivia from you. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah,
I
that's
got
true.
a trivia for you guys.
Oh, let's get it on,
Oh,
buddy.
God.
Oh,
You know the Keats name, Keats, obviously. You know, I knew his name when I was 14 years old. You know, what is if I ever
Re-
have a son?
Real quick, you didn't explain. So Keats in
eh,
Latvian is
It's
like
Keith.
Keith.
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
okay.
Just
yeah. So back when I was like 14 years old, and I thought to myself, if I ever have a son, I'm gonna name him Keith. So it is related to hockey. I'm gonna give you a hint.
okay.
It's something to do with Edmonton Oilers, but you gotta have to dig deep.
All right.
Who he was named after? That's the question, I guess.
I think. Who,
But you gotta have to think.
all right. Well, let's give a TikTok. I'm gonna do the Jeopardy thing, and I think we're gonna go.
I have nothing.
Anybody?
The only person that I know
the
is
during the what era? I mean,
It's you're
you-
talking about 1986.
So you're talking
stuff
you're
like that.
talking like
It's some-
premium.
It's something to do
Oilers.
with Edmonton Oilers.
Like we're talking Stanley Cup Oilers.
Yes. Oh yeah. When they
Okay.
went 4 in a row or something.
Oh, that
And
was the
there's
Islanders.
something to do with that team, with a certain player, but then you got kind of have to dig it a little bit deeper.
All right, here we go. Chime in if you guys got the answer.
If you don't have it, I'm gonna give you another hint.
the only person that I
All
know.
right, at 15 seconds, we've got the clock set. 15. We'll get another hint.
Could you repeat the question?
Who was Keats named after? It's a
That was a staller.
yeah.
Be honest, that was a
Okay,
staller
nobody
on my
knows.
part. No.
No.
Okay, Phil doesn't.
All right,
know.
you're gonna have to give us
The
one
only
more.
person-
That's broad.
Now think Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, Keith Gretzky,
There you go.
his
Oh.
brother.
Yep. He's
Really?
his middle
Yeah.
brother, Keith Gretzky.
God. The
Keith
only
Brayton
person
Wayne.
that I know is named Keith is my dad. I'm like from God to my ears from my mouth. Like,
There you know. There you go.
Yeah,
And-
Keith, Brent, and Wayne.
Yep. And that's how it went. You know, I read somewhere that he has 2 more brothers, Keats and Brett. And in the
Yeah.
article, I don't know if it was true or not, but as a prospect, Keats was rated higher than Wayne was. And the Brett was coming up, and in reality, Keats never made NHL. Brett made and played for Tampa Bay for a couple games.
Well, didn't Keith? He wanted to go and do something else, didn't he?
He did play hockey, you know, and then he was like in the Canadian juniors or whatever. I don't know exactly what it was, but I mean, his NHL dream and all those predictions. What I read, like I said, you know, back in the day in the Soviet times, they put out a lot of fake, you know, news. And they even
Oh,
said,
wow.
like for Wayne Gretzky, you know, why he wore the number 99 is because he had a contract till 1999. So, which is not true.
Yeah. Oh,
That's not why Gretzky wore 99. So
so Keats is named after.
Wayne Gretzky's
Keith Gretzky.
brother, yes.
That's pretty
100%.
awesome, man.
It's nuts.
I'm kind of curious why his brother.
I
Just
loved
because of what you heard that he was.
it. Yes, that he's
possible
gonna
of
be
doing?
even better
Yeah.
than Gretzky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so I was like, if I have a son, you know, that guy's gonna beat Wayne, so he's gonna be Keith. You know.
No kidding. That's cool, man.
So
What a disappointment that ended up being.
now look
You
at his
made
son.
The travel.
No,
plan?
no. So
Beer
hey,
league champ.
so
I mean,
if
Can't be bad,
if
you
Keats
know,
is
it'd be
the
great.
Latvian equipment of equipment,
yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Equivalent.
Yeah, there you go, boy.
the Latvian equivalent of Keith, what would Wayne be?
I don't know.
Weights.
Oh no, it would be Wayne. Still Wayne.
Oh, what?
Wayne's. Oh, with an S at the end.
Yep,
Yeah, because a
that's
lot
it.
of
It would-
like traditional
It
Latvian
would,
names.
yeah, you would say
Wayne's.
in Latvian you'd say veins,
Vince.
and it almost sounds like mains.
Right. All right, so we got the old time hockey versus the new time hockey here. It's pretty obvious that you guys raised hockey kids.
Yeah.
We
Damn
all-
it.
At least for your wallet, I do want to ask you guys. Obviously, you guys were hockey dads. What's your most favorite part about being a hockey dad, and what's your least favorite part about being a hockey dad? Either
Phil,
one.
You?
Oh, thanks, Giannis.
Oh yeah, you just hanging them out to dry.
Yeah, throw me out there, baby.
You won the face-off.
Okay, so my least favorite part?
Your least favorite part and your most favorite part about being a hockey
Okay,
dad.
this is going to really piss you off when I tell you,
I mean,
is that
we've spent 30 years together. I mean, let's go.
yeah, let's,
Let's go.
the part that really I thought that you could go further than you did. And I'll be honest with you, when you were like coming up in midgets and you loved hockey, don't get me wrong, but you didn't. And this is just a dad's perspective. You
That's
didn't.
what I want. Yeah,
you
that's
didn't
what we
put
want.
out the effort I thought that you had in you.
Oh, I heard
and,
it.
And it. Oh yes, you did hear it. You heard it a lot. And you were that kind of kid that just liked to buck the system, anyways. Kind of like me when I was younger, and that even made me more mad because you were like me. And I was like, God, why does he gotta be like me? But anyhow, that was the least part I like, because I know you could have played college hockey somewhere. I know you could have. But the thing of it is, your maturity didn't come till it was almost too late.
Yeah.
And your last couple years of you playing, your skating was just got so much freaking better. I mean, I was starting to. You were impressing me on how you were skating, and I just thought, man, my gosh, I feel that you wasted the talent you had in you that you didn't realize till you were older. You
Yeah.
know? And that's the worst part of it. That's the part that I regret the most.
Okay.
And I was a late bloomer too. I didn't figure out what I was going to do till really late in life. And I said, gosh dang it, he's doing the same stupid thing I am.
Oh,
But you had the chance and the talent to, make that good. But, unfortunately it didn't happen. But, that was the thing I really regret.
okay. And
Because
so,
I think you could have done a lot more than you did.
well, thank you. I think I actually like that a little bit more than like the most positive thing.
Oh, the most positive thing about
Yeah.
hockey was what you learned from it, and that you learned to love the game. I mean, you love the game, and that's the most important part. That's loving the game is the most important part of hockey, to me.
No,
I mean,
I-
there's people that never played. I didn't play in an organized hockey league, but I love hockey, and it just kind of like gets into your blood, and it's just the most, to me, the most perfect sport, and I think that was the most positive thing,
Yeah.
is you come out being just a full-fledged hockey loving guy, and as the way you're going now, your life is probably going to end up somewhere like that, somewhere in the realm of hockey,
Yeah, I dig that. I'll
And-
take that too.
But no, I mean, that, to me, that's it. There you go.
All right, Giannis, what do you got, buddy?
All righty. Well, let's start with the thing what I hated the most. And I really did hate that part. So I got two kids. I got Keats and I got Michael. Michael is 2 years younger. And those early morning practices I mean, come on already, It's 5 o'clock, and week after week after week, and there were times, when one had a practice at Highland Hills, the other one 2 hours later had a game in Fort Collins or whatever. And it was just nonstop, and then Keats made the travel team, and it got even worse. and so it was just like I was living at the rink.
Hey, a lot of the times when we had those 5 a.m.s, I didn't see you taking us there. But,
Oh no!
I
Who
was
was,
AP.
hey! Who was that? Who was that? I want to know who that was.
We alternated. It was later on, It was a time when me and my wife would go with the kids. We would watch the practice and all that. And at the beginning, it was all fun.
Right.
And like when we were in Latvia, we lived so close to the ice rink when he could just walk, and I would be so lazy I wouldn't even get out of bed. He would just grab his bag, walk across the street, and he literally lived in the ice rink.
That's literally what it was, man. I could see the ice rink from my bedroom window.
Oh God, what
it
a
was literally
dream!
across the street.
What
Yeah.
a dream!
Yeah, and bear in mind, they practice like a professionals. They had practices every day. I think if there was one day off during the week, that was it. But then there were like road games, and we would travel, like 3-4 hour bus rides, from city to city. But anyway, so yeah, basically, after so many years doing these early morning practices, and with the work I did, the construction at the time, worked out in the field, I was just so worn out that I didn't have my private time, my personal time. I was just worn out when, to be honest, I started to hate hockey. So I dropped out completely. I didn't watch any games for about 2 to 3 years. I knew I kind of kept my eye on what's going on, and I would watch the games only during the playoff times.
Right.
And plus, at that time, Avs sucked, And so when the Avs were out,
yeah.
I would kind of keep an eye on Penguins and Canadians, but that was it. And then only like I took a break, and now I'm back and watching the games and following the game again. But that was the thing, it just got so intense.
Right.
And it was too much. It was just too much. With one kid, probably would have been different, but with two of them, sometimes your weekends were spent at the ice rink. Some people liked it, loved it. It was too much for me. So.
Well, yeah, most of those parents were the ones that were, calling. Oh, where's the review? That was over the fucking line,
right?
Right.
Like
kind of
stuff
fans,
like that. But
like hockey dads.
And what I love the most, and I'll cherish that to the day I die. Actually how Keats got into the hockey. It was not me who signed him up for a hockey. He one night I came home from work, and he said, Dad, I saw this stuff, in my school, they're assembling the team, and I want to go and play, and I was like, oh boy,
Here we go.
That's cool, So yeah, we got our stuff together. We went over, signed up for it, and then stuff like that, and just to see him growing as a player, he didn't know how to skate or know nothing. He was falling down every few steps he took, but once he got that grip, and especially after that horrific game he had, the first one, basically against the all-star team, and seeing him not to give up on the game, that made me very proud, And during like the summertime, they had the summer camps, we'd go to the beach, and they would have to run like a pretty hot day, and they would have to run about what it was, like a couple kilometers, a couple miles, one way and back, and seeing him always doing his best, and almost at all times he was one of either the first one or the second one to come back, just how much effort he put in. And at that time in Latvia, we had a book about Artur Zirbe, and I read it to him, and we watched, there was actually a movie, and the work ethic Archie put in, I assume that's a question to him, but in my opinion, he'll learn from him. And so he wanted to be like him. How he came out, of course, he's not an NHL, but it got him off the streets. He never got into drugs or nothing. All it was hockey. School is over, to the rink. He would be with the guys. And that just makes me incredibly proud, Dad. And when we came over here, I mean, he did his best what he could. He did play for the travel team, for a little bit, and then I mean, the age came 17, 18, or whatever it was. The girls took over, or whatever it was. He basically decided to take a break. And which was fine. And I was actually kind of glad because, and it's selfish to me, because I got out of it too, because I was fed up with it. But he took his break, and then again, one day he said that, I'm coming back, I'm gonna play the beer league, whatever it is. I want to play hockey again.
That's what happened with me and my dad too. Actually, like I took that kind of long break, like from 17 to 19, and then.
Yeah, like I said, not everybody's NHL player, Like we did watch Jacob Slavin growing up here. He played on Michael's team.
Yeah.
And you could see that kid lived at the rink, and the parents, and he had a sister too, I believe. And she make to the Team USA national team?
I do believe she did,
I do
actually.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know about, I think he got another brother too. But Jacob, when he played, I mean, he was a, what is that called? The first, not the midgets, what the one below?
Pee-wees?
Pee-wees.
Oh yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
you could
Bantams.
see that guy, he
Oh,
played
no, yeah,
a D,
Bantam.
or Bantam, yes. He would play a D position defense, He could light up that puck, like a wrist shot, right top shelf,
Yeah.
You could see he didn't even play at full power, You could tell. He would just skate around, and whenever the team was down, he'd just go score his goal, That's it, done, You could see that guy was a talent,
Yeah.
So. But, yeah, I'm proud of him, incredibly proud, and I love to watch him.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, I think the fact that even that we're still playing now has a lot to do with you guys. I mean, just
Well,
supporting us.
and another thing is you failed to mention is the friendships that you get from that.
Absolutely.
Why do you
They
think
wouldn't
we're
be
all
sitting
sitting
here.
here right now?
Right.
Like all
you
three
and
of
Keats,
us, man.
You and
Like,
Keats,
well, Ross
and,
too.
and
I
Ross
mean,
too. But I mean,
that's the-
hockey has brought you guys together and a really good lifetime friendship.
And I
know.
think I can speak for all three of us that it's pretty clear that hockey is the reason why we're all here right now.
Well, obviously, yeah.
That's probably the most,
And
obvious.
it's held you guys together,
For real.
It's like Giannis, telling me about all those early morning.
Right. I remember Phil meeting you 5 a.m, and I was like, man, is this the best place to be? Head hurts, couple
man,
beers on Friday night, and now I got to be up, driving the kid.
I've got an
do a
8-hour
hockey
shift
practice.
to work, and I don't even have to wake up early for this shit.
Well, I mean, even like during school, you guys had to be at the rink at 5:00. That's the time you had to practice,
Yeah.
Well, I would not want it, like if I would have to redo again, I would do it again.
Oh yeah,
1,000,000%.
no doubt in my mind. Yeah, you know what? That was not the thing that bothered me. I thought that was more of a dedication thing, and if they were going to be dedicated, I had to be dedicated to get them there.
Right, and I don't know. I don't know what got me to a point where I got so fed up. Keats played more competitive hockey. Michael was just in there for fun. And for whatever reason, Michael he won more tournaments, and stuff like that. Keats never. He was always on a losing team,
Yeah.
And he just bugged the living crap out of him.
Oh, shots
and
fired.
it
dude.
wasn't because of him.
Shots
It was
No.
just like the weak ass teams.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do nothing about it.
Right.
And then I remember the game when he pulled the first shutout of his career here in the United States, and we played in Nevada. And I think there was 2-0 or something like that. And them guys, they could never beat that team, and for whatever reason, he just stood on his head, and pulled it out, and the game was in Nevada. I mean, I was just so proud of him, and I was like, finally, finally you got, what you deserve.
Right, what you worked for.
Yes.
And it's
but yeah, it just the way it is. I mean, he has a lot more success now playing than at his younger age. It's just like unfortunate. He started too late, I mean, he didn't start too late
Oh,
for
way
his
late.
age.
Way late.
Not that too. It's okay, But the,
No,
the
I do
thing
too,
was in
actually.
Latvia, those kids, they were thrown in the same league, and there was no
There wasn't levels.
based on
Age
your
separation
skill
or
or
anything
whatever.
like that.
Well,
I
there
mean,
was how they
to some point.
how they did it was that there was age separation, but it's like it was by oh man like your U10s, U12s
And that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And then there was no levels like you just ankle benders,
yeah, there was no such thing as like in-house travel. Your
yeah,
travel. If
That's
made
all
it,
freaking AAA, right there, Like that team, actually, what was that? Metalworks, they went to Canada and they won the Gretzky Cup, for the youth teams.
Yeah.
They're like back to back, like they were unbeatable, like worldwide. And that's what sucks about Latvian hockey, that they pump out of those kids at a young age. They train like a professionals, right? And they're brought up like that. So not many of them make out to NHL because they're burnt out. They're like by age 16, 17, they're done.
Oh, yeah.
And only the few survive. And actually, the ones who make to NHL, like Girgensons, and what's his name, Merzlikins, Teddy Bluger, and those guys, they
Balders.
never went through that at a young age. They played in Latvian league for a little bit, and they went abroad.
Yeah.
They played somewhere in Europe, like Merzlikins played a lot of time in Switzerland. I think that's where his majority of time went.
And I think Christoph's Boulders, he played in the Swedish league for a bit.
Which one?
Christoph's Boulders. He just got drafted to Ottawa.
Oh shit, I don't even know.
But I think he was playing in the Swedish league for a bit too. But that's a new Latvian guy. Holy shit! I know about a Latvian player that you guys don't.
They're
Whoa.
taking over. They're taking over.
And there
Slowly,
it goes.
right?
Like back in the day, who made out? There's only several players. There Artur's made out of it. Artur's here, Sandis was Olinch made out of it. Peter Skudra, he was not that great of a goalie, but still he made NHL.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then unfortunately, Sergei Zholtok, was a Latvian player who actually passed away, because of the heart failure or whatever happened.
Right.
And he played for Canadians.
I mean,
and
obviously,
Senators and
Skrastinj.
Carlos. Yes, those are those old school players who went through
That-
all that windmill,
Yeah.
And so the country is small, but we still can produce, players. But and those are pretty darn good players,
Yeah.
But these nowadays, it's a change. It's different,
Of course.
And a lot of players go, like I said, I didn't say that, but one of my friends from Latvia called me a week ago, and they're his neighbor is sending his kid to New Hampshire to go to school or whatever. He's 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he plays for U14 in Latvia, and he had an offer from that New Hampshire school or go to Sweden, and so they don't want to stay in the local league.
I'd rather go to
because
Sweden.
it's like they see like either he's gonna get burned out, they want you like to go to some other place is a better structure
Right.
and stuff. So they're banking on that team here in the United States.
Oh,
So we'll
wow.
see what it's gonna come out of, And but yeah, that's how you advance nowadays. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
brutal.
One thing that I do know now, now that I'm older and when you're younger, you don't pay attention to those things, but now I do. Over there, it's like when you go into it, and it doesn't even have to be hockey. It could be other sports too. They're like once you like sign up to whatever sport you decide to approach and get better at, they work to like you're gonna like since like day one we're gonna
You're gonna be a pro.
exactly.
Well,
As
I
up-
mean,
compared to here, more, and it's I'm not trying to bash or anything here. It's more, let's have fun.
well, you
and,
look at
like,
kids playing
the-
NFL, trying to playing football in Texas.
Nah, yeah, I got to disagree with that, Keith, man. Because I coached, I coached hockey and I coached softball, and parents have unrealistic views on what their kids can do and what they can't
Oh,
do.
well, that's always a given.
That's parents, but as
But
far
no,
as
but-
the approach of coaching,
the organization and the approach of
organization
coaching is
itself.
mainly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
They're
football,
not as
dude.
well,
harsh.
yeah, but so you're saying over there that coaches are more prone to telling these kids that they're going.
100%,
Oh,
because
yeah.
most of our coaches were ex-professionals,
Yeah,
as opposed to here you have.
Well, I see
You
that.
know.
I see that in the hockey ranks, but I mean, if you want to look at like Pee Wee football and stuff, it's hardcore. I mean, especially down in like
Oh, yeah,
Texas
yeah.
groups, like they are
But
they
these-
are cutthroat. They're
and these
like-
coaches, that's the way they coach.
yeah,
You know,
And that might be, and maybe another thing is it might be just because, all I know is Colorado,
right?
because we.
Oh, you go back east or you go down south with
And
football.
it's I believe it's
Oh.
also because of those levels. Since in Latvia there were no levels. Everybody were thrown into one pot. The
Yeah.
strongest survive. So
yeah.
here, if you play an in-house, it's more like recreational.
And plus the
Yeah.
volume,
Yeah.
volume of kids,
Oh yeah.
in Latvia versus in
Oh yeah.
America.
Absolutely.
I mean, the volume.
We
is
got
just-
less people than in whole Denver
Yeah,
Metro.
yeah.
You know
there-
what I
there-
mean?
Yeah.
there's
But I mean,
no comparison to the volume of people.
It's
but
not.
yeah, especially now that how crazy football has gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If you watch that like docu-series Friday Night Tykes, you've got like 8-year-olds kids playing football, and these coaches are running them like they're all-star pros.
Right.
It
and
is cutthroat, and it gets bad, man.
Right, and I don't think it's right. I think that the approach is right here. Let them figure out what they want to be. See where the talent is. Then, if you make advance to the A and double A's, and you're really good,
Yeah.
go to triple A's. And by the age you're triple A's, I don't even know when it starts. What's the age for triple A's? Is there an age cut?
Pee-wees.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
When
yeah.
hitting really starts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're still pretty young.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like that. Then I can understand, those people have those kids have more potential. Over there,
Yeah.
he didn't we had this defense guy, next door neighbor. He was a little chubby guy, He had a good slap shot, but that was about it, He was a poor D,
Yeah.
And but that's all we got. And those kids when the team was assembled, half of them didn't know how to skate before the freaking ice rink was built,
Yeah.
So how many days you guys had before the first game? I can't remember. Was that a couple weeks?
It was very short. Like my gear arrived like a week prior to our first game.
Right, and there you go, and then you get put against, those kind of teams who played already together for 5 years, and they would be at the PVH, and they're triple A's. You put
Yeah.
against the in-house team, who doesn't know how to skate.
Yeah.
That's where that result came from.
But with Keith's point about coaches or just have fun, yeah, that's pretty much the mantra on certain levels. But like you were saying, in Latvia, everybody got bunched into one bunch. See, we have just so many freaking levels, and I mean, you start at 8 years old, and if you're at a certain level, it's not so much about having fun; it's about
Right, and then
Getting it
just,
done.
just Phil, bear
Right.
in mind, when he came over here, he was 13 years old. He didn't know any better, so for him and even from me watching as a dad, and I actually remember how I got in with my wife. I was like, those kids don't appreciate, they don't practice hard, because
Yeah.
I used to watch him. He had a professional goalie trainer, who would work with him every game. When we got here, and it's man, we saw we're gonna get to the States, and this is gonna be shit,
yeah, yeah.
and it was a huge step back, and that's why he the first games he was definitely 5 classes above all those players without a doubt,
Yeah.
But he had that setback, he got confused. It's what the shit is going on,
Yeah.
I can catch those hard shots when they happen, but I'm letting in those softies.
Yeah.
And I got frustrated with that, too. And it was you can do so much better. And it took him a while, And unfortunately, it got to a point when he got older, when he got in a travel team, I could see that this could now, go in the right direction.
Right.
But then he pulled himself out pretty much, he was done with it.
Well, yeah, you get
And
burned
so,
out.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it is, they start so young, and my daughter, she played, she played college softball, and to be honest with you, after all her summer leagues that she played since she was, 10, I was really surprised that she even considered playing softball in college.
Right.
She was so burned out. She was
That's
truly burned. I mean, and Cody knows this. I mean, we spent like summer. There was never a month of the year that my daughter didn't have a softball in her hand. She was a pitcher. So she was either at practice or she was at the pitching coach. And I can see how kids get burned out. They just they get to that certain point. It's like, man, I wasn't even a kid anymore.
Right.
And same way with Cody's hockey.
Away.
It's the same way with Cody's hockey. Well, what kind of? You didn't have that many breaks. I mean, but it was something. I think maybe you loved hockey more than Kaylee loved softball.
Oh yeah.
By far.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think Kaylee was doing it. Well, she got a scholarship out of it, but it was more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain how it was.
I think
but
you had to push her more to play than you had to push me to play.
No, come on. I had to push you, man.
Well, I mean, just to play though.
I had to push you to do anything.
That's true.
Take out the trash.
Fair enough.
No, see, that's what frustrated me about you. No, I know you love playing hockey. There was no doubt about that. No question in my mind. But sometimes your commitment wasn't there, and that's what made me because you had the talent.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I never had to tell Keats, like that kid, when he grew up, like I said, he was the one who signed himself up. I was just like on a bandwagon. I was like, all right on,
Yeah.
because that's kind of what I wanted,
Yeah.
I wanted him to play hockey, but when he was a little, there were even no talk about building the ice rink in the city and stuff like that, and him, I never had to tell him, hey, you got to go to the practice, you're going to skip it, you're going to be late, that was his first priority,
Yeah.
And obviously I was a bad dad because when he went to school, I said, screw it, if you can, your homework and stuff like that, if you can pass it, that's fine, but you go do your hockey, because I could see he loved it,
Yeah.
Until now, I mean, like, I don't have to encourage him to do stuff, When he restarted all this deal, that was his idea, I never asked him why you don't play hockey, no more. I was like, all right, if he chose not to play, then that's fine with me, As long as you're not doing some dumb shit, I'm good with it.
It was different back then too, though, because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say it would have been the same way if say we would have lived here. There wasn't really anything else to do. You go freaking throw rocks at your neighbor's windows,
Down there.
or you go play hockey. I mean, there wasn't much to do, so yeah, I'm gonna go play hockey.
Yeah.
But to follow up with that, I'll be the first one to admit when I got older, moving here, I got extra burnt out, and that's when I quit. I got really, really burnt out.
I had a feeling.
There was between Monday through Friday practices, games on weekends, and it's just on and on and on. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the older you got introduced with shitty vodka
Women.
and
girls.
your
Women.
girls and your parents' liquor stash, and it kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, hey, but man, we could talk about this for hours, man. I mean,
it looks like it's gone that way, eh?
that
That was beautiful. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and thank you guys for being our dads. Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you
You
for
know,
not
I was
wearing a
re-
condom.
I've been ready to kill you when you told me that. But hey, Dad, guess what?
One thing,
But no, man, I enjoyed it. I really did. I
Bef-
enjoyed
bef-
it.
See, yeah. See, as long as you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I truly enjoyed it.
before we finish up this episode, I actually had a question for you, Cody, and Ross. this is one of my sort of favorite memories. Can you guys recall the very first game your parents took you? Like your very first hockey game that you watched?
Yeah, my dad and I, we went to Vancouver Canucks at versus the Avalanche at the old McNichols Arena. The Avs won 6-4. And I remember walking out that game and like, this is something pretty cool, man. I got to go see the Avs game with my dad, and we won. And this is like, I remember walking down the old McNichols steps saying, this is pretty cool, man. I got to remember this.
Well, mine would have to be in 1994 to 95 when we had the Denver Grizzlies. That was the first game that my dad ever took me to. I mean, we watched the Anaheim Mighty Ducks because I'm from, well, Placentia, but not Placentia.
Not Placentia. Just don't.
Placenta, my bad. Placentia, but not placenta.
Placentia.
Thanks for clarifying
Not
that.
placenta.
Rob.
No, everybody always just gets that confused. But no, he bought me my first Ducks hat. That got me into hockey. But my actual first live game that got me hooked was not only just watching the game, but just saying how it progressed compared to on TV when I was watching Paul Correa and all those guys back in the day. So.
Oh yeah, nice.
You guys fortunate. I think our first game or whatever was when your goalie coach played for Kandava. They played.
Holy shit! You were drunk when you took me to my first hockey game, weren't you?
Wasn't that the game though?
Hell no.
Which one was that then?
My very first hockey game was in Riga, in a hockey rink named Sportapils, which doesn't exist anymore.
No kidding.
It
So was
got
Dinamo
torn
Riga?
down. No, it was actually national team. It was Team Latvia,
Shit, against the Belarusia.
Belarusia.
God dang,
I
and
will
that's
never-
the game where Sanders played and got kicked out, right?
Yeah, Sanders got in a fight.
Oh shoot!
That was my very first. We sat in nosebleeds, and man, I got exposed to so many bad words. I will never forget.
The beer was flying over our heads. You know, we
It
lost
was
the game, but it was bad.
It was insane. I remember people saying Belarusi piderashi, which you guys.
Do tell. You're not going to say it
we
on
can't
air and
translate
not
to
say it.
English. We cannot do that.
Closest
forbidden.
translation.
Closest translation.
Yeah.
Belarusians are F.
Oh, just
GS.
say it, bud. I've said fuck so many times
No,
tonight.
this is not a fuck.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
is it,
basically calling They're calling them homosexuals.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, hey,
in a
y'all,
very-
whoa,
in a very
wow.
rude way.
Well,
Yeah, those were different times,
Yeah.
and I don't
Well-
remember what year it was. But
Well, we're not gonna go. We're not. Gonna,
Hey,
Exactly.
hey, I want to ask you. I know Ross' dad couldn't make it, but I want to ask you two. Where did me and Giannis screw up?
Right.
Oh, buddy.
Because
Oh,
we
come on,
obviously
boys.
did somewhere. you
Yes,
know,
we
we're not
did.
Perfect, you know.
Come on, you guys put us on the spot tonight. I don't want to know.
Now back to you
as-
guys.
yeah, as being hockey dads,
Yes.
where did we screw up at?
Oh, my.
Or
The
did we
tables
screw
have
up?
turned. You want to take this one, or you want me to go first?
up to you, man.
Oh,
I
come
can, I
on.
can answer it.
Come
I'll be
on,
pretty straightforward.
spit it out.
Go
Rock,
first.
paper, scissors.
Yeah, honesty.
Yeah, no
Come
rock,
on.
paper,
We're big
scissors.
boys. We can take it.
I already know where.
Or whatever the fuck this is.
I
Fair
think
enough.
I think one thing that I could say is not even since day one, but once the whole Latvian leagues got a little more serious and we actually had an assembled team and things are finally starting going the right way. I think my dad was my dad was one of those dads at the beginning. If you guys know what I mean, the ones that we were making fun of.
Yeah, those.
Just being super strict, not even strict, but like hard. I mean, God forbid I had a, bad game. I'd hear about it for like 3 days afterwards. and and almost like I would almost get grounded because I had a shitty game, which kind of I think had a lot to do with me burning out in the end. I was like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. But I don't know. I'll leave it at that.
Well, let's put it this way.
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
My dad was a positional father. When he always had his spot where he, like, while he was enjoying the game, he would stand at one point, and then as soon as I started fucking up or just looking bad, I could see him at a completely different spot. And that's as soon as I saw him in that one spot, I always knew I was playing like really bad. So that kind of like really messed with my psyche while I was playing, because as soon as I saw him in that one spot, I knew he was pissed off about something that I did. So I just started thinking about that the entire game. And I guess yeah, and a little bit like you, like after the game, he just loved. Well, I don't know if he loved it, but he just couldn't bear not telling me what all the things I didn't do right after the game or the practice.
Yeah, after you already like, shut down and you've already had the worst game of your life.
Yeah.
And then last thing for like
It's
that
like, oh damn it, my
hour
dad's
ride home from like Fort Collins or whatever.
my dad's in the corner again. I fucked up somehow. Shit,
Yeah.
what I do? Oh, then I just like start thinking about it.
Well, the
Same-
bad thing about it with Cody is because I coached like, the last 2 years?
Yeah,
or-
well, yeah, he was on the bench. He couldn't go anywhere.
But I was a
And,
defensive coach, so I didn't have nothing to do with you.
Thank
and,
God.
And to my credit,
Thank
I
God.
did not say nothing to you, did I?
No,
Ever.
but
when I was coaching, it was hands off to you.
But I'll tell you, all those years that you weren't coaching, I am so glad I never heard what you had to say during those spot moves. So, because I'm pretty sure it was just, anyways.
Bad stuff, huh?
Yep. Well, whatever Keith said, that's true. And I know, like now it's easy to say, when you're older, when he's older, and when you look back at it, and I can admit, that I messed it up. I know that there were times, when he was probably yelled too much, and this and that. That wasn't the right approach, and did it burn him out? He said it did. It's obvious, but would I do it any different now if I ever have a grandson? My approach would be completely different. That I can tell you right now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's just like live and learn,
Yeah.
And not to my excuse, It's just, you're a dad, man. I was so damn proud of him, though, at all times. He doesn't even know that, but
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, for us, like, it's easy for us to like sit there and say those things. About being a parent, it's different.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, I probably for you too, Cody. It made me be super hard on myself, and I blamed myself for every little thing. Where it
Yeah.
got to the point where like my coach would actually pull me in. And this happened even in Latvia, and it happened here in U.S. where it was like this was like where the coach had to like assure me, like, this was not your fault. And it was
Right.
kind of like, trust me, like if it was your fault, I'd tell you, yeah, you did
and
mess up
Yep.
here and there, but I was so hard on myself because of it.
And
because-
there it is. That's what I take, from it. That if I wouldn't have done, like would have been too harsh on him, he would have made it a lot further. I take that blame, because it was like kind of subconsciously for him, like it was always like, man, I messed this one up, I messed that one up, and I never realized, that he's not a professional hockey player. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, I
He's
agree
just
with
a
you,
kid,
man. Oh, believe me, there's
And,
things that I regret that I.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was because we loved them, and we wanted them to be the best they could be.
Exactly.
And if that took that stupid dumbass stuff, we did it.
Yep.
But it was nothing more. Yeah, it was nothing more than wanting the best for you guys,
Exactly.
to get the best out of you, and that's the only reason we did it. That's, if you guys ever have a kids, you would understand that.
And look at us. We never made anywhere. I
Yeah.
never made out of my local pond.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, they at least made the rink.
Oh, I know.
I remember he played on a Pepsi Center. I can't remember. He subbed for a goalie, there was some kind of tournament going on, when he skated out on that ice, and it was just amazing. It was like this kid, comes from this small country, even he's not a professional, no nothing, but just to imagine to get on the ice where they have a step on every other night, that's a huge deal,
Yeah.
So, yep.
Nope, it was all because we loved you.
Yeah, well,
At the time, it probably didn't look that way or sound
it's
that
like,
way.
oh, my dad's on my house again.
Well, hey guys, we've been having this conversation for almost 2 hours now. I think it's
I think we could call this one good, boys.
I appreciate it.
No, I want to thank you guys for having me. Like I say, when I walked up the driveway,
He was not happy.
I was not happy,
Are
man.
you fucking kidding me? I gotta get on your damn
You
podcast.
gotta admit it was fun though, right? Going
Oh,
back
no,
down,
no,
going
no.
down memory lane.
No, I believe me, I loved it, man. I nothing better I like about talking about my kids. Very proud of both of them, and especially Cody with the things he's had handed to him and how he's handled them. And
Oh shucks.
oh shucks, no,
You make
buddy,
me blush.
you know that. I'm just so proud of you and what you've accomplished and the things you're going to accomplish. I don't think that there's any way, shape, or form that you are done, accomplishing what you can get done. And I know you're going to do it.
Well, thank you, Daddy. Love you.
And I like to think it was me because I did all that stupid shit that make you do stupid shit that made me mad, made you mad.
Oh fuck.
No, you both guys are gonna cry, man. I can see those tears in
I'm
both
starting,
of your
I'm
eyes.
starting to
I mean,
tear
you
up
wish.
already.
Phil's getting emotional.
Well, hey, from all of us, obviously, happy Father's Day to both of you,
Well,
and
thank you.
thanks for everything you guys have
Thank
done
you.
for us, over the years. And this is a pretty cool episode, I think.
Yeah, and
Um,
unfortunately Keith couldn't be here. Big happy Father's Day to Keith.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who listens. We love you all so much, and thank you for that big 1,000 listener mark. That I think that meant a lot to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no.
keep listening. We love you all. And
Sponsors.
and I mean, once again, a big thank you to Dan Williams and the My Beer Nation app for those lovely stickers that some of you folks really enjoyed. We got Brantley out there, Austin Brody asked for some, Michael Sully, Jenny Rose, Austin Brody, Becky Spears, obviously April Mullins. Everybody who asked for some stickers, thank you so much. We love you all, and we hope to see some on the bench with Beeks stickers, out in the world or on your tablets or phones or whatever.
One
man.
thing I was going to mention is, hey guys, whoever Cody knows more, he's on the delivering side. Once you get those stickers, guys, shoot us some pictures of maybe where you put them on, and we'll post them.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. I think that'd be
cool.
so cool.
Yeah, and one more thing that I want to do before we end this episode here, for all you listeners that don't know, our host is having the big 3-0 here coming up on Monday. Mr. Cody Beekman, happy birthday, bud, from all of us from On the Bench with Beeks.
Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all
Happy
very
birthday,
much.
Beeks!
Happy birthday,
Happy
boy.
birthday, buddy.
Oh, and actually, it's funny that you mentioned that today, June 19th, on the bench with Beeks alumni, Jan Hayda's birthday is today too.
Happy birthday, Jan.
Happy birthday,
Jan. He's probably like, I'm not even gonna listen to these guys that came on. But well, anyways, thank you guys so much from everybody out there. We love you so much. This is why we do it. This is why we love doing it. Thank you, dads. Thank you, all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to everybody, and Yogaskade Vihosh.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Later.